Good morning. Your weekday kickstart is here. It's time to live, impact, value, and engage heart first. It's time for Live at 7:55 with Mitch Taylor.
And welcome to Live at 7:55 for this Friday, March 20th. Thanks for joining me here for your weekday motivational kickstart. That is Live at 7:55. Where we chat about whatever it is that you want to chat about here this morning. Put it in the comments below. We'll chat about it. Good morning, Paul. Morning, Scuba. Morning, Wes. I'm going to take some coffee here. Good evening, Serge. Ron, good morning. Jim, good morning. Good morning from the beautiful Upper Peninsula where it snowed last night. Just a little bit, not a lot. And as far as I know, at least right now, as far as I know, we are the only area in the whole United States that does not have a case currently of COVID-19. Morning, Kirk. Morning, Jamie. Mike Walter, good morning, sir. Great benediction last night from Mobile Beat Las Vegas 24, Mike. Thank you for all you do, Mike. I'm so proud to know you as a friend and as a colleague. As a speaker, I always know you're going to knock it out of the park, and there's no question ever about that. So great job yesterday for your benediction for MBLV 24. Any ideas of a small token of thank you to couples that rescheduled and not canceled? Adam, great question. This is something I think it depends on each couple. You know, what is personal to them. And if you know your couples, if you connect with them on a deeper level, they're going to be more understanding of this whole situation and what you have going on and what's happening. Wes, I could answer that one in a few words. So that's the first thing. If you have connections with your couples, you'll know them a little better and be able to offer that. I would, in my opinion, what I would do if I were you is probably, I hate to use the term, but it's the only thing that comes to mind right now, kill two birds with one stone and help out another small business by having a gift card for their local restaurant takeout kind of thing that that client enjoys. Maybe it's a popular eatery in your area, and send it to them as a thank you for postponing their event. So that's a great idea, Adam. Thank you for asking that question this morning. Wes hits up with a question: should every state follow California and have a 2-week stay-at-home order? Yes. That's the short answer for Mitch Taylor being politically correct. If you want Mitch Taylor being not politically correct, you could look at my Facebook profile picture, and that will tell you exactly how I feel about the subject in regards to people traveling. Brent Robertson says people over profit has really hit home this week. Yeah, that was kind of a mantra of mine this past week. And listen, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you that every business needs to refund all their money to a client, because I don't believe that. I mean, they're still going to get married eventually. They're still going to have that corporate event. Typically, in most cases, there's some cases anyway, at least. So I would encourage you to, move forward. Ron, I just addressed this. I don't think you need to give it all back, in my opinion. Again, if you want to forgive a balance, that's your choice as a business owner to do that. But again, what are they going to do? They're going to have a wedding regardless. So they're going to get married at some point. So I would encourage them. I've heard of companies even allowing it to be transferable for up to 4 years, which I think is extremely generous. But everyone's different how they want to handle business, Ron. I'm not saying you should, not saying you shouldn't. It's not what I currently have chosen to do. Let's see who this is. Kirk. Kirk says the virus is changing the landscape of our businesses. How should we start to modify our businesses as we emerge from this environment? 5120. I've been preaching it for years. 5120. 50% down to lock in the date, balance due 120 days prior. Or really that second date, or second number, I should say, the 120, is really when is that last date that you will normally get an inquiry for that future date you're holding for that client. Hope that makes sense. In other words, when do the calls dry up for that date? So if you are holding October 10th, for example, when are you no longer getting inquiries for October 10th? That's what you do. So in this case, for me, it's typically around 4 months prior. That's when that is, and that's when we do that. So that's why we collect final payment at that time frame. Morning, Matt Radicelli. Matt Radicelli just texted me. Adam Scuba, I was waiting for someone to ask this question. We will address this later on today. That's my answer for that. Anybody else got a question here this morning? So Wes says, I love Scott Favor's idea of collecting balance due, pay half due on the original due date. I don't have a problem with that either, Wes, at all. I really don't. But I think in many cases, some people are going to be hard pressed, especially if their money is being due right now, to make that next half due on original due date. I think some businesses might get pushback on that. And again, we're going to have a numbers game here eventually at some point with dates and inventory and things like that. I haven't heard if Scott's had pushback or not yet, but I love the concept. I don't know how it plays out in real life. But pushing the money to be, some companies are asking for 100% of it up front right now, when they, when it was due originally, kind of thing. But I think at some point it's going to be a pushback from people to pay all that when they're not even sure if it's going to go down right now. If you had it in the next 2 weeks, for example, obviously it's probably not happening how they thought it was going to happen. So they want to postpone to a new date, and you're asking for all the money right now, or even half. They may start to balk at that. If you push it out to when the normal period would be, that at least pushes us out a little further. And again, it's all up in the air right now, Wes. I think, Scott's idea is good in theory. How it plays, I think remains to be seen. Or maybe he could chime in and post if he wants to on this thread. We'd love to hear how is it going for other people. John says, are we asking for wedding advertising companies for discounts right now? I don't know if you are or not. I personally don't have any money outlaid to wedding advertising companies. We put it into relationships for our clients. And relationships for events. In fact, I just delivered a $100 gift card and 2 Bluetooth speaker water bottles for someone that attended a bridal show that we represented. Ended up not attending due to COVID-19 this past weekend. I sent it out to their house yesterday. So I literally drove it out to their house myself. Nick Etzer, encouraging couples postponing to a day other than Saturday by offering extras. Yes, absolutely, Nick. I agree with that. I think if you can incentivize yourself, if at all possible, or incentivize them, I should say, if at all possible, for the move, that's something you can do. Hey, Brian, good to see you, Brian. Appreciate you. Hope all is well for you. Yeah, Ron, that's a shoot yourself with a foot program, especially right now if you don't have savings. Hopefully you've got savings. Final payment day of the wedding. I don't want my couples to stress the day of the wedding. I frankly don't. And having them have money due the day of can be kind of stressful sometimes, in my opinion. Again, just my opinion, Ron, and how I've run things for the last several years. Robinhood, I did too. August 7th of 2021. We're almost closed out for that date right now, believe it or not. And I'm sure it will close out considering how things are moving. So anyway, that's it. Thank you all for joining me for Live at 7:55. Greatly appreciate your viewership. In these trying times, I really, really appreciate all of you. It's really cool to be able to see my friends still pop on here. Join me for Live at 7:55 most every morning. And appreciate all of you so much. We will have the live announcement coming up at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific coming up this morning about Midwest DJs Live. So join me on the Midwest DJs Live talk page or the Midwest DJs Live page, where Vicky Musney and I will be having a live announcement about Midwest DJs Live here very shortly. So coming up in less than 3 hours. Good morning, Danielle. Hope all is well up with you in Marquette and Negaunee area. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Until then, stay healthy. Don't go stir crazy. Connect virtually if you need to with people. Pick up the phone, call somebody, reach out, let them know how much of an impact they made on your life. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks for watching Live at 7:55. To bring Mitch to speak to your organization, go to MitchTaylor.net. Now go live, impact, value, and engage heart first.